I am a moorish freaking man. Uplift humanity, that is my plan. This is Morocco, so this is my land. Open your hands, 5 on the left. Put up the peace sign, 2 on. Open your third eye. Can you see the light? Not civil of the Martus. Full life, not civil of the Martus. Full life. More is a verb, more is a noun. Matter because black is an adjective. With the black status, think you programmatic and Christian back codes. With the Vatican, listen, people no time for shenanigans. If this an island, I'ma call you Gilligan. Trace myself back, I'm a rocket, I'm here again. Moorish Americans know what the spirit is. The more that you study, the clearer it gets. Did it myself, now I cheer again. This the prophet, we not friends again. Now I can hear again, see again. Welcome to me again. God be again, sons of Allah. Did it with intelligence. Study, study, study. Did it with some diligence. 7-11, they mad cause I'm militant. Christopher Columbus, the slave, and I'm serious. Slave is a bloodline. We did the labor. Leave me alone, I don't need any favors. Keep all that money, that shit is just paper. The United States is only on paper. The way you fight back, thoughts written on paper. You can say yourself cause no one's savior. Gotta study self, change your behavior. The higher, the lower. Now here come the danger. The lower is walking with one in the chamber. Higher is trying to control all the anger. My ego is saying, fuck all of you haters. I'm ready for this, I'm ready for war. 2 seconds on the clock, 1 shot, and I'm ready to score. Stop killing over colors, what's that for? Not nigga black colors, we are Moors. I am a Moorish American man. Uplift humanity, that is my plan. This is Morocco, so this is my land. Open your hands, 5 on the left. Put up the peace sign, 2 on the right. Open your third eye, can you see the light? Not civil of the Martus. Full life, not civil of the Martus. Full life.
Son of a mother, yeah. None of a mother, this dick. Pop smoking, but not broken. Right spoken, screaming, be a little. When you see them all, we ain't them. Stay strong, so weak with no end. Move flow, track up the track, the hell you know. Moors, not baby clones. The great and the great they roll. Nah, in the veins they yo. I'm and they fade with y'all, but we ain't them. When the real and the real, real the real. News from CNN, from MHS, Taj on VHS. Keenan Moors with the late test. And to Muhammad, Overdue Ali, the great test. If you talk color, not hearing ya. Blood suckers, homo than malaria. No need to put this lots of ya. Just throw you a book and you're scared enough. Bye-bye, little sheep, while they're shearing ya. Next day, forget where you're naked from. That's not a heart, that's the shape of a lake. Or 2 separated, slice open atria.
I am a Moorish American man. Uplift humanity, that is my plan. This is Morocco, so this is my land. Open your hands, 5 on the left. Put up the peace sign, 2 on the right. Open your third eye.
Can you see the light?
Not civil of the Martus. Full life.
Not civil of the Martus. Full life.
I am a Moorish American man.
Uplift humanity, that is my plan.
This is Morocco, so this is my land.
Open your hands, 5 on the left.
Put up the peace sign,
2 on the right.
Open your third eye.
Can you see the light?
Not civil of the Martus. Full life, not civil of the Martus. Full life.
Corporate to run at the Cali. On paper, rice breaker. Things that can get carried. Take it home to your family. This Lone Star, not Texas. It's moorish, not madness. Stay chillin', not here to stay. This album rock, not United States. On the rock, not rock with me. On the block, firm, not top heavy. Push more with black, nothing happening. Who's wearing masks, getting robbed, nothing man. Real life monopoly.
Islam, I am Nobleman Menelik R. Raheem Brown L. And I'm here today, Morris, to bring you another lesson. Yes. So today's lessons are about the Huguenots, okay, the French Moors. All right. And I went to this Indian channel, you know what I mean? Try to uplift fallen humanity, give the people some truth. But, when I went on this platform or whatever, he didn't want Moors to articulate themselves. And, he kind of cinematographed me off his platform because I was trying to give them the whole scope of why we have Huguenots here in America, okay? Because Huguenots are Moors, all right, which they will call French, all right? And what people don't get is that a lot of Moors came to the Americas, which they wasn't righteously just called the Americas then, okay? All right. It's a whole landmass of continents and stuff like that. So what people don't get is that we had different names for different land masses. Okay. And they don't understand what Maurice entails. Maurice is the French surname. Okay. That's why you see more Morris all over the place, or Maurice or Morris. Okay, because that's the connection of the Huguenot Moors. Okay, now, okay, Marrakech, right? Marakech equals or is Morocco. All right, and what people don't get is that it's etymology of words. All right, that the European reconstructed our history. So we have to understand what these tricky devils did with the vernacular of language. All right. So, okay, like I said, Marrakesh, right, equals Morocco or is Morocco. Algeric is named after the city of Algiers from the Arabic word Al Jazir, the islands of Tunisia, okay, now known as the islands of Tunisia, is named after the city of Tunis, which, you know what I mean? So we have to understand that anciently, how our countries was named is not named the same today, okay, because they did the Reconstruction period. So, so in that aspect, nobody can decide what it is, and Morocco is named after Marrakesh, right? From the Arabic word Maghrib al Aqsa, Al Aqsa, right? Maghrib al Aqsa, the far west. Okay, that's what Maghrib al Aqsa means, the far west, because America is supposed to be sitting in the west, right? So, Marrakesh is really Morocco. Okay, so from the Arabic Maghrib al Qasa, this far west, Tangiers is named after the fruit called tangerine. So if y'all look up where tangerines come from, that probably be where um, Tangiers was located. Okay, because they switched everything around. So you know what I mean, you have to look at everything. Marrakech used to be the capital. Okay, and okay, will get you to look at New York, all right? Because you have to look at certain things that was, because that's why New York is the Empire State. See what I'm saying? So you have to do your own research. See what I'm saying? Because they changed a lot of names. They changed up history. South Carolina was known as Portugal. Okay, they changed up history. They changed places. Okay, so you have to be very diligent in your studies. All right. So now the French kept the A's, right? They call it Maroc. Okay, this is the French now. The French spell Morocco, Maroc. They spell it Maroc. Okay, and the Germans called it Morocco, spelling Marokko. Okay, that's how the Germans spelled Morocco. All right, but the English got terribly confused by Othello and other Moors you see for years in English, right? The inhabitants of North America have been known as Moors when we're Moorish. So when a country got called Morocco, the English, who had been watching some Shakespearean, decided that it must be named after the Moors and altered the spelling to make it look a little more like Moor, Moor, right? Moor, Morocco, Morocco, okay? Because it was named after the Moors, right? This is what the Reconstructionists did so they can understand where the term and all the stuff came from. So when they go through history, they'll know that Moors founded everything. Okay, so what people don't get is that um you had North Africa has been known as the Moors, right? Which is North America, right? Right? So when a country got called Morocco in English, who had been watching some Shakespearean decided that it must be named after the Moors. So they had to name Morocco after the Moors because this is ancient Mauritania. Okay, this is ancient Marrakesh. Okay. So which is what we, right? We no, or they'll say assume. It was right back where does Moors come from? Well, once upon a time during the Roman Empire, there was a province called Mauritania. Okay, all right, and as cheap, right, or they'll say chap, CHAP, from that province was called a Morus. Okay, or Morus. So that chapter of Mauritania, right, was called a Morus. All right, and hence more. So, and the old thing is that even though Roman Mauritania was almost exactly where modern Morocco is today. Okay, so you have to look at certain things. They just swap things around. Okay, that's all they did because the empire stretched from where Morocco is now. That was ancient um, Roman Empire, right? That stretched from here to Africa. Okay, that's why it belongs to the Moor. That's why Africa itself, the name, the term, belongs to the Moors because we've been here anciently before even the Yoruba came around. But anyway, let's get back into my perspective here. All right, so call it Maurice and hence more. And the old thing is that even through Roman Mauritania was almost exactly where modern Morocco is, the words have nothing to do with each other except in the English hybrid Morocco, because they are the ones who usurp, okay, with the French, okay, Morocco, the kingdom over there. All right, with hybrids, okay, that is usurping the Aboriginal people's lands now. Okay, because what people don't get, the 13 colonies were for foreigner Moors that came over here, but they still was indigenous to the land. That's why they had a charter over here. Okay, because when you look at Canada, okay, then you look at Alaska, then all of that is tied to Russia, which they say Tartary or Barbary, okay, which are still Moors. Okay, so no matter how you put it, no matter how you go, it's still Moorish. Now, so the English hybrid, Morocco, but it goes further. You see, the English thought they got their traditional folk dancing had originated amongst the Moors. Hence, Moorish dancing, which is really Moorish dancing. Moreover, there's a common first name meaning from Mauritania, just as Adrian means from the Adriatic, Adriatic Sea. So all Moors, right, or Maurice or Maurices should come from Mauritania. Of course, they don't. Of course, they don't. For example, Maurice, Prince of Orange, was born in Dillenburg, Germany, and became a stakeholder, okay, of the Netherlands. That's why when Dutch sailors arrived at a little island in the Indian Ocean, previously called Dina Arobi, they renamed it in their prince's honor, Mauritanius. So that's how you link Morocco, Marrakesh, Mauritania, Moors, Maurice, Moorish dancing, Mauritanius, okay? And you can check the novel out by E.M. Foster, okay? So And that's in the etymology terminology of Moors. Okay, so within that aspect, Moors should understand that you have a vast estate. You were all over the world. Okay, and when these people come with a pseudo bullcrap, I have to scimitar them, Morris, because they're not giving y'all the truth. They're not giving y'all the facts. That's why Moors do the research that they do, so they can bring you the facts and bring you the information, so you can go on your way and do your own thing, right? Without Moors have to hold your hand. See what I'm saying, Moors? So, in that aspect, we have to take everything into consideration as far as what is what and what is not what. Okay? All right, Moors? So, that's why, as an English, right, Maurice, as an English or Scottish surname, Maurice, may have originated as Maurice, an old French personal name derived from the Latin Maurice, okay, or Mauritius, a given name, okay. Yeah, itself derived from the old French, more Latin, Maurice, meaning Moorish or dark swarthy. In the respect, it was often a nickname given to someone with dark skin. Okay, Governor Morris, right? He was the apparent drafter of the Constitution and one of the leaders at the convention. Governor Morris was one of the wiliest and most brilliant Americans of his time while energetically pursuing his legal and business interests. He contributed to the political systems of New York and Pennsylvania, as well as that of the nation. He sat in the Continental Congress and the U.S. Senate and held the position of minister to France in embittering his last years. Okay, so that's letting you know that it had Huguenots, Moors here that was in America, and they had colonies here too. Okay, the British had colonies here, which were Moors, all right, and the French had colonies here, which was Moors. The Danes, the Dutches, okay, Scottish, right? All these people were Moors. So when these people try to spin this narrative like the Huguenots are not Moors, they lying to you. Okay, they're lying to you. They straight out lying. Now, we have a connection, right, between the Incas, right? And people don't get it. People don't get that at one particular point in time, all the land masses and everything was joined together. Okay? The shaping of North America recorded history began 6,000 years ago. That's what they say. But it was further than 6,000 years ago. Okay? How about 6 million years ago? Probably further than that. Because these people were playing games. It was what? 500 years ago that the Europeans set foot on the Americas to begin colonization, right? Right? So who was the English? The English were Moors. Okay? That's who they were. All right? And Europe, all right, was right over here in the Americas, but in a different jurisdictional provision or providence, they will say. Okay? So why these people keep thinking that the names that's named for America today is the same thing? It's not. All right? It is not. And I'm going to say it one more time. It is not. All right? So people got to understand what's really going on. Okay? As far as the history with us. And if we don't understand the history that's with us, then we can't discern anything. See? That's how that works. Now, what I'm trying to put down as far as the Huguenot Moors, and I'm trying to put down as far as the Moors that really started civilization, okay, anciently, all right, and then you see what I'm saying? They're mixing and scratching our history with made up history that was reconstructed, okay. Now, all right, America's to begin colonization, the theory of Asia as the whole world existed. Okay, all right, suggesting that the continents were once nestled together into one mega continent. Then okay, they then spread it out as drifting islands, like they all separated. Okay. Geological forces of continental plates created the Appalachian and Rocky Mountains. Okay, the Great Ice Age thrust down over North America, and scored the present day American Midwest. Okay, so they're trying to say it was freezing right in between how the Moors walked across the Bering Strait. All right, and it was called a land bridge. All right, as the Great Ice Age diminished, so did the glaciers over North America. Okay, the theory holds that a land bridge emerged linking Asia, North America, North America across what's today the Berlin Sea or the Bering Sea. People were said to have walked across the bridge before the sea level rose and sealed it off, and thus populated the Americas. Okay, the land bridge is suggested as occurring an estimated 35,000 years ago. Right. But it was people here before that. That's what people don't get. Okay, now we're going to put this into perspective. North America across, right, was today the Berlin Sea. People were said to have walked across the bridge, right? That had to be millions of years ago, before the sea level rose and sealed it off, and thus populated the Americas. The land bridge is suggested as occurring an estimate 35,000 years ago, which I say is millions of years ago. Because no. Okay, those groups that traverse the bridge spread across North, Central, and South America, right? Countless tribes emerged with an estimated 2,000 languages, notably, right? English, right? Peru, with elaborate network of roads and just linking their empires. Mayas, right? Yucatan Peninsula with their step pyramids, right? Okay. Then you had the Aztecs, Mexico, okay? And they all was dealing with each other. They all was trading with each other. They all was in each other's lands. Anyway, Aztecs, Mexico with the step period and huge sacrifices of conquered peoples. That's what they want you to believe. They did not sacrifice no conquered peoples. Okay? Those are lies, mixing and scratching, right? Now, development of the corn or maize around 5,000 BC. So you trying to tell me the development of corn is older than we walking across the bridge straight? See how they be lying? Yeah, they give us the truth, but they want us to fall for the narrative. So hell no, I'm not going with that. But I go with the 5,000 BC in Mexico was revolutionary, right? And that then people didn't have to be hunter-gatherers. They could settle down and be farmers, right? This fact gave rise to the towns and then cities. Okay? Now, corn arrived in the present-day U.S. around 1,200 BC, right? That's a lie. They lying. Okay? Because maize is indigenous to Americas. Okay? It's indigenous to Mexico, which is in the Americas, which is on the same fucking continent. So how that only 400 years? Because they are reconstructing the time period. All right. Now, development of the corn maize around 500 BC, Mexico was revolutionary in that. Yeah, we're gonna take that. Then people didn't have to be hunter-gatherers. All right. Then this fact gave rise to the towns and then cities. Okay. Corn arrived in the present day U.S. around 1200 BC. Pueblo Indians. No. Those are Moors. Okay. This is what these people do. Now, we're the number one American corn growers, right? They lived in adobe house, dried mud, and pueblos villages in Spanish. So that's have to be Moorish. These are Moorish people. Okay? Right? Pueblos, right? Are villages of pueblo shape adobe houses stacked one on top the other and often beneath cliffs, right? They had elaborate irrigation systems to draw water away from rivers to grow growing corn. Mound builders, okay? They were called the mound builders, which are ancient Moors, okay? These people built huge ceremony and burial mounds and were located in the Ohio Valley, okay? Cha near East St. Louis today held 40,000 people. Eastern Indians grew corn. Moorish, okay? Moorish people grew corn beans and 3 months, okay? Corn grew in a stalk, providing trellis for beans. Beans grew up in a stalk. Squash broad leaves kept the sun off the ground and thus kept the moisture, okay, in the soil. This group likely had the best, most diverse diet of all North Americans, okay? Moorish, and is typified by the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, South, and Iroquois North. So the Iroquois Confederation of the Mohawks was in New York, which was the Empire State. Right? So you got Iroquois Confederation. Hiawatha was the legendary leader of the group. Okay, the Iroquois Confederation was a group of 5 tribes in New York State. Okay, they were matrilineal as authority and possession passed down through the female line. Matriarch. That's what Moors do. Okay. Iroquois Confederation, right? Right? I already read that. So let's get to this. Each tribe kept their independence, but met occasionally to discuss matters of common interest, like war and defense. So this is an empire. Okay. Now, right? American Pageant is available in print, www.lulu.com, continents 3001. Okay. This was not normal. Usually, Moorish people were scattered and thus weak. Okay? So you have to look at the Native Americans had a very different view of things and compared to Europeans. So what they're saying is that it was the Native Americans, which are the Moors, right? They had the Indians, right? 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 Which they said were Moors too. You got to understand, they were called Raj Moors, right? So they had little or no concept or interest in money. Europeans money, right? Right? And directed the stuff of the world. And scratching with talking about English people love gold and stuff, because what people don't get is that Europeans are not Albions. The original Europeans were Moors, okay, and all like folk dancing and all that stuff came from Moors. That's who taught those Europeans how to dance, square dance, all this stuff. Okay, it comes from the Moorish ancestry and paradigm of history and culture, okay, which they adopted because they didn't have no culture, they didn't have no civilization. We brought them into civilization, so we had to abolish what slavery in 1863. So if they were still Slavics, right, how in the hell they was running around in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s? I want to know. Unless they was up under a Moor or somebody like that. So what people don't get is that history is funny, especially when the European is writing it. Okay. So what people don't get too. Okay, the first Europeans to come to America were the Norse Vikings, right? Right? That's what they say, right? The Norse Vikings. So those were Moors. Nobody No European was free. They were all indentured servants or Slavs. They were Slavics. So how you putting all these Europeans free in the 15, 16, and 1700s? How? How? You can't be no damn researcher. Then when I went on this damn pseudo platform, he want to try to not let me speak and hurry up and get me off his platform because he already knew I knew what the fuck I was talking about. And he wanted to get me out of there. But that's okay. That's fine. You run your platform how you want to. These people still want to listen to you. And once they find out that you duping them, they're going to have a rope for your neck. You understand? Because this information that these people are playing with, history, will really liberate people out of their mental state. Okay? But if you're not liberating yourself to be out of that mental state, you're going to forever be enslaved into that state. Okay? So, the only record is found in Viking sagas or songs. So, we know that these people changed the history. Okay? Marco Polo traveled to China and stirred up a storm of Europeans' interest, right? Right? Mixed with the desire for spices and east to west Asia to Europe. Trade flourished, but had to be what? Overland, at least in part. The initiated new exploration down around Africa in hopes of and what? Easier or all water route, right? Portugal literally started a sailing school to find better ways to get to the Spice Islands. And who had all the spices and stuff in all the trade? The Moors did, right? Because the Moors was with each other all the time. So that's why when America was formed, they had to get them some damn fleets or navy. Okay? They didn't have none. They had to go through Moors to get everything. What you think, these Europeans, we just allowed them to just come over here willy-nilly? Y'all crazy. Y'all got to understand we brought them here as slaves. And we relinquished them because the Moorish family had infighting about us working them like that. We need to let them go. Okay? It was a big rift because they are still a part of the mother and father family. They are mankind. Okay? We brought them in the human family. And we had to pay for some of the actions that we did towards them. You see what I'm saying? Because we didn't really enslave them like that, like whoop them and all this, that, and the third, how they want to put this narrative down. No, we clothed them, we fed them, we taught them. Because they didn't have nowhere else to go. They needed to learn so they could stand on their own. And once we let them stand on their own, right, they messed up. That's when the Black Plague and all this stuff went in. Then it had to be what? The Renaissance time when the Moors had to come back and reiterate every damn thing because these people went into diseases and dirtiness. So if y'all don't understand what's going on in your own backyard, then y'all gonna fall for the okie doke. That's exactly how it's gonna go. Because now that once you put certain things into perspective, then you'll understand. A Carvel ship with a triangle sail that could better tack zigzag ahead into the wind, right? Right? And thus return to Europe from Africa coast to coast. Okay? Moors knew how to do that. Europeans didn't know anything about no sailing yet. We had to teach them. That's why the American government got cooped by the Europeans. Okay? They don't talk about that history. All right? They cooped the government. They changed it. All right? So when these people start talking all this yin yang and yin yang and a thing, you see what I'm saying? But they mixing and scratching, but ain't giving you the results. Just like Columbus conceived Isabella and Ferdinand to fund his expedition. Now those were Moors. All of them were Moors. They all was fucking Moors. There was no European then. Really nothing. Because we had them on the plantations. Don't y'all get it? So, now, if you do the history on America, America is 230-something years old. So how are they ruling something and America is only 200 and some years old? How? Please tell me. They had to come to America for them to be a world power. And usurp the Moors here. Because this is the only place that they use black and white. When you go outside of this country, they don't use those fucking terms at all. So I just want to know, Morris, like, why are these people duping us? Why are these people telling these lies? Why are these people trying to assume, right? Assume that they know everything and they scholars, right? These people are treasonous. All their little funky ass platform with all these damn views, they ain't telling you nothing. Okay? They are playing you. They are duping you. That's what they're doing. So if they're not coming with the facts, well, then you shouldn't even listen to these people. These people are just outright liars. Okay? All right? Now, Columbus conceived Isabella, right, and Ferdinand to find his expedition, right? His goal was to reach the East Indies, right, by sailing west, thus bypassing the around Africa route that Portugal monopolized, right? All right? Because they on the outside trying to come around so they can get to the ancient trade route. Right? Because the Moors had America locked down. What y'all don't get, the Moors had America locked down. So for you to come in, you had to get a decree, or you had to, you know what I mean, go through some more that was already on the land here. You couldn't just willy-nilly come up here and what flag you waving? What flag you boarding in the high seas? And you don't think Moors ain't on the high seas patrolling? That's why the Sultan of Morocco had to pardon American ships for being pirated. That's what they were saying. They was being pirated, right? So who was doing all this negotiation with the Sultan of Morocco? Were they Europeans or were they Moors? They were Moors. There was no fucking Europeans doing no negotiation. Okay? People can stop that. And I don't give a fuck who they say they is. They can say they the grand scholar, they the grand sheik, they the grand this, and they the scholar this. I don't care what they say. They don't understand unless they do understand and they just telling lies. Okay, because your history is vast. Okay, and Portugal, right, was in South Carolina. Okay, right, Turkish, all that Moorish, South Carolina. Okay, that's why you see your flag there. Okay, which the Nation of Islam had took up. All right, but they waving it over there in so-called Turkey. You understand? Don't you get this, how these people are playing us with our own ancient stuff, which they took from us, usurped from us, and made nationalities themselves because they was up under the Moors' feet, and we allowed them to come up off under the feet, and we taught them. We gave them lodges. We stood them up erect, and this is the payment they giving us Moors now that don't know who they are, been indoctrinated. Okay, by the same colonists, right, that you talking about, oh, you know everything. How you know everything and the colonists usurped your government, usurped your history, usurped your goddamn nationality and birthrights. So how you think you got this story together? Unless you working with these people, unless you a damn agent. So you tell me how you think you got this story. I do extensive research all the time, and I have other Moors that do extensive research, and we share information all the time. So you tell me, all you scholars out there, you clandestine Negro scholars, right? Talking about y'all black, right? And Indian and stuff, right? Right? But y'all gotta understand what y'all Moorish connection is. And it don't matter because you're not a Moor because you're not from Morocco and all this, that, and the third. Moors had all different countries, Algiers, Tanzania, goddamn Mauritania, Marrakesh, all this, that, and the third, all over here. Because Moor has different more like Maurice is for France. Like more is in different variations of language because more, right, is the founder of all languages. So what do you people don't understand? Now, and therefore mistook the people as Indians. Now we're gonna get back into this, right? He misjudged the size of the earth through thinking it was 1/3 the size of what it was. Right? This is the European version. Okay? Because the European's gonna give you a fucked up version. Like we didn't know, like Christopher Columbus didn't know where he was going. He knew the hell he was going. He was a master navigator. He knew where the Americas was. Stop listening to these damn pseudo reconstructionists. White are supposed to be supremacists because these niggas is not white. Okay? They are not white. They are black Slavics. That's what they are. They flipped the switch on you and made you the black, made you the nigga, okay? Made you the African American, okay? So don't let these people keep duping you with these lessons. And then I be hearing my Moorish brothers, oh, I don't identify with being a Moor. I'm an Indian, or I'm just Aboriginal indigenous, or I'm just this, that, and the third. So then when you go in front of the mother, right, and the father, ancestors, remember and keep that same energy that you are spitting out your mouth. Okay? Because when you go and see your maker, Allah, see what I'm saying? They're gonna record everything that you down here doing. That's why the prophet had to come to us the most, because we've been brainwashed. I ain't gonna say brainwashed, we've been indoctrinated the most. Okay? Here in America, been indoctrinated the most, and we know in our hearts that these people over here in our land is not treating us fairly, not treating us right, killing us on an everyday basis, right? Doing us wrong in their court systems, right? That they usurp from our ancestors. But you people want to sit up there and have a blind eye, huh? Y'all don't want to look at nothing, huh? Just like all this agent activity that be going on out here, right? Right? And there's a lot of things going on out here as far as trying to keep Moors, right? Trying to keep Moors what? Oblivious to certain things. Just like we have this thing going on right now in between our group. You understand? That, Moors is not looking at. You see what I'm saying? They said it was two agents in the midst. Okay? Within the rise of the Moors. Okay? So now Moors is trying to look at things from all sides, all corners, because it's not like that these people never tried to get up into our movement. Every time a Moorish brother, which calls himself black or African, try to do anything to liberate the people, the FBI comes and get involved. The FBI comes and try to knock down the whole thing. We got the records, we got the receipts. But you people still want to sit up here and talk all this craziness. Want to sit up here and try to give the European, a way out or something like that, or keep them here. You see what I'm saying? Because you and the European secretly coup this government, and y'all secretly benefiting off this government like Django. Yeah. So what do you people think? You people think that Moore's gonna sit back and just let y'all lie and tell these lies and stuff like that? Nah, Moore's gonna do our own thing, and we're gonna pull as many people we can to give this information out. Okay, because these people be mixing and scratching information all the time, and then you have to be like very, very, very cognizant on how to differentiate what is a lie and what is real. See what I'm saying? Now, his goal was to reach the East, right, Indies, by selling. So where's the Indies at? That's in so-called Jamaica, around there. You see what I'm saying? Route that Portugal monopolized, right? Right? So Portugal monopolized that route, which was in the colony. They say America, colony, Portugal. Nah, Portugal was in America, you suckers. Anciently. That's why everything had to be put over there in Africa. Okay? From a different perspective. From a different perspective. So if people don't get that we are in the ancient part of the land right now, because once you do the knowledge on the pyramids, our step pyramids and everything that's over here is more ancient than any other pyramid around the world. Okay? So what people don't get. What people don't get. Now we gotta understand new world, right? Of importance. Like this is the old world, but these Yerbos, right? They colonize it and call it the new world because they wanna, take away all the old world stuff. They want to hide all the old world stuff. So what they do, they give you a new platform. They tell you this is the new world, right? They love to say new world order, right? With all these European colonists, right? That's over here usurping you. And they're not European, they Abians. Okay? They have European descent, which come from the Moors. Okay? So that what makes them mankind. Because they have a primitive ancestor too. Okay, which makes them mankind. These are facts. I'm not sitting up here trying to spur no damn racism or none of that, because I have to get to the premise of the facts. You see what I'm saying? Because these people want to sit up here and talk crazy and act like that it wasn't no treaties with the Moors, and Moors didn't have treaties with everybody. So that's how y'all people really want to try to combat and act like that. Moors don't know. Moors know. We know. And by us doing the research and the knowledge to certain things that people thinking that they're getting away with, that's not going to get you nowhere neither. Okay? And I mean that. Like I be watching some of these guys, and obviously, I be thinking to myself, do these people really know what's really going on? Do they? And then they don't even know about Spain under the Bourbons, 1700 to 1883. Now, why is 1700 to 1883? Because at that particular point in time, Moors was ruling, and they was the Berbers, okay? And that Spain was Moorish Spain, okay? Right? And they don't want to tell you certain things. They want to try to keep your stuff, and don't tell you. Okay? And that's what these people do. And they don't understand. There shall be free trade between the two nations, and any vessel of the one shall be entitled to remain in the harbors of the other for as long as she requires, and every citizen of the one shall be empowered. So why they have to be worried about their ships in the harbor? Because they was in different countries then. And the 50 states, they had their own. It wasn't no 50 states then. The European came and usurped. We was our own independent province that was tied to an empire. Okay, so when these people tell you how back in the days anciently in this state and this was over here and this was in Africa and Africa is all that and the third. No, it's not. Africa still have our natural resources there. Okay, but no, we went there, we colonized there, we set up trade routes there, and we went back home. And some more stayed there because they coming from the south end. That's when everything was put together. See what I'm saying? So it's not like Moors haven't been here. We all been here. All been here. And then they try to tell you that Moors crossed the Bering Strait 3,000 years ago. That's a lie. It was millions of years ago. Before the European ever was even brought or even thought of. Okay? So people got to understand the real point of what is and what's not, and how these people be trying to dupe people and tell lies, because that's what they hold. That is their whole plan, is to keep people uninformed, right, and keep them in a narrative of not knowing themselves. And when you stay in a narrative of not knowing thyself, then anybody can tell you anything. You see what I'm saying? So, I want to get people to understand that we have to understand that we've been here, okay? And these people, they tell lies. Just like we got to the distinguished scholar, the late Ferdinand von, right? Hulchester, right? We owe a debt of gratitude for the preservation of the unique specimen of ancient Mexico, right? Ancient Mexico, which is a Mexim, right? Featherwork, which will be exhibited eventually as one of the gems of the rich ethnological, right? Ethnological, right? Ethnological collective, okay? No, cohibited, all right? Yeah, cohibited eventually as one of the gems of the rich, right? Ethnological collection in the newly erected Imperial Museum of Natural History, okay, in Venice, right? In 1878, his attention was directed to its former presence at the Belvedere Museum by a notice in Baron von Sekup's a descriptive catalog of the Imperial Ambrose collection, printed in Vienna in 1855, wherein among rare objects from various parts of the world, right, it is mentioned as follows. Number 3A, Mexican headdress, right? Right? Hold up now. Headdress, about it is mentioned as follows. Number 3, a Mexican headdress about 3 feet in height. My bad, it looked like an 8. 3 feet in height, composed of magnificent green feathers with golden hued luster, and of colored bands of featherwork studded with small plates of gold. This specimen was termed in the inventory of 1596 a Moorish hat or fez. Okay, guided by this note, Hervan Hochsettler with the assistance of Dr. Leig, the custodian of the Ambrose collection, found the precious relics and rescued it from an obscure corner of a showcase where it hung, folded together next to a medieval bishop's mitre and surrounded by sundry curiosities from North America, China, and the Sunday Islands. It was unfortunately and so in, I mean, yeah, unfortunately and so impaired and mouth eating a condition that to use Herr Holoster's words, he feared it would fall to pieces on taking it out of the case. Permission was obtained for its immediate transfer to the ethnographical collection then in process of formation, and the valuable object was placed under the care of Herr von Hochsettler, who proceeded to provide for its future preservation and to investigate its past history with the following interesting results. In its earliest record, dating as far back as 1596, was found in the first inventory of the Ambrose collection, written 1 year after the demise of the Archduke Ferdinand of Tyrol, the founder of the collection by the Imperial Commissioner, appointed to revise his will. On Folio 47-2 of this ancient document, it is cataloged with other objects in featherwork, contained in a chest number 9, and is described as a Moorish hat of beautiful, long, lustrous green and gold-hued feathers, beckoned above with white, red, and blue feathers, and gold rosettes and ornaments. In front on the forehead, it has a beak of pure gold. The term Moorish, as here applied, can sacredly be regarded as a descriptive one in as much as Montezuma, okay, the king of Temistinian in Mexico, is subsequently designated as a Moorish king in this same inventory of 1596. See page 9. Okay. What it says, subsequently, okay, official registration of this Moorish hat in 1619. Its descriptions was faithfully reproduced in, what is it, in 1621. Okay. The word Indian was substituted for Moorish. Okay. With the single alteration, the original text was again transcribed in 1789 and in 1788. However, a remarkable transformation was effected, okay, and the hat became an apron, and the official record reads an Indian apron of long green feathers. It is garnished above with a narrow hand of white feathers, followed by a broad one of green. Okay. Then there is a narrow stripe of red and a broad one of blue. The hands are studded with crescents or horseshoes, small circular plates, and other thin gold plates. The old inventory designates this object as an Indian hat. See? See? And that's how they change your stuff up. Abracadabra. They change the stuff up. See what I'm saying? So then that in which they are placed by, right, by 19th century, right, writers. I'm going to say this again. They were placed by 19th century writers, the Reconstruction period. So in 1800s, they weren't writing shit. They was being taught, right? And they was all working on the plantations, right? Because in the 1900s, that's when they started writing in the 19th century. Okay, all right, writers. This tells us that England was overrun, right? Right? That England, right? Hold up, let's get this right. England was overrun last century, okay, by large companies of marauders who sojourned upon the archaeological, okay, cast of England, much as they did in Ireland, okay, and Scotland, to the great terror of these what agriculturalists, right? And these oppressors were black oppressors, like those of the Wish Meringdom, the Englishmen who had colonized the western shores of the Atlantic. Okay, not more than right a generation or two before Gross, right, spoke of the Indians there, right? So all this was did by the Moors. Those were European Moors, not and so the Moors that had the Slavics up under them, they became Europeans. They got a nationality. Don't y'all get it? And then we goes back to being just Moors and Asiatics. Because that's how this is only going to work. Because they got to have a nationality. They got to have a standing in law. They got to have rights. They have to have a land. Okay? Where they supposed to be inhabited in that. So who you think set all that up for them? The Moors did. Okay? So don't try to go into a perspective like we don't know what's going on. We know what's going on. We know that ancient America had all the civilizations first, and then it moved out because the Incas, right? The Mayans, right? The Aztecs, right? They was all up and down here. That's why when you go do the math on the pyramids, they predate the ones in Egypt over there. So who's wrong? Somebody is not doing the math right. I don't care what these pseudo scholars say. They're not telling us the truth. You better wake up. Moorish, right? It's Al Marat, right? Al Marat is French, god damn it. And they all was over here under the protectorate in the Americas, what they call a colony. Until they moved out to take their colony somewhere else, right? Or set up some other land mass, right? Then they named it something else. They went to somebody else's land and named it something else. What you people don't get? Now, so, okay. Now we have to look at the Welsh and, right, the English, right, which is, when you look at the Welsh, they are Mab and Noagan, right? The Englishmen who had colonized the western shores of the Atlantic not more than what? a generation or two before Gru spoke of the Indians there. See? So that means Moors colonized that land first, right? And after the Moors colonized that land, then we relinquished our slaves, right? And then the slaves took over that colonized land. Okay? What y'all don't get? What y'all don't get? Because obviously they didn't have no damn countries over here. Nothing. They didn't have it. Now, okay, so Indians, right? Now, the Englishmen who had colonized the western shores of the Atlantic not more than a generation or two before, Gross spoke of the Indians, right? They're as being as black as gypsies. So gypsies are still Moorish. They still are Moors. Okay. If anybody's saying they're a gypsy, okay, that's Moorish. Okay. That goes back to Moorish ancestry too. Okay. They're not no European Yoruba like that. Not the hybrids. No, I'm talking about anciently. That's what our people were. Okay. So we're spoken of indifferently as Indians, right? Because that was through the Reconstruction period. They turned you into something that you was already is. So in between the Reconstruction period, they had y'all come in as not Moors, as Indians. Okay, and then after you set up everything in the Indian culture, right? They oust you out of that. They took it from you. So when you people trying to go back into Indianism, right? It's your shit anyway. But at the same time, you wasn't doing it as Indian. You was Moorish. Okay? So you got to understand what's going here. Now, so identify as Indians and Moors. Okay? So you had a lot of our people identifying who knew their history. They were Moors, and then if they didn't know, they came in between. You see what I'm saying? And they know their grandmother told them they was Indians. You see what I'm saying? So they're just gonna go with the Indian. But you know what I mean? Your grandma was more than an Indian. Her parents probably were Moors. See what I'm saying? And she just forgot. Because after the Reconstruction period, they traded all our schools in, okay, for some bullcrap schools. And that's when the history and everything took it from us. We forgot. We fell out of knowing who we were. Because we used to tutor ourselves. We had our own schools. We didn't go to these people's institutions. Okay? So what the people don't get? And Moors, okay, right? So identity as Indians, Moors, and our British Indians, right? The Raj Moors are also remembered as Moors. Therefore, Gross is virtually telling us that large companies of Moors or black people roam up and down the country, rather more than 100 years ago, taking very considerable contributions from the farmers, okay, classes, and others besides being possessed of many fierce and aggressive qualities. And these Moors at that quite recent period had not relinquished the customs that distinguished those people, okay? Those black people against the Caesar fault, okay? So Moors is at that quite recent period had not been relinquished the customs that distinguished those black people against whom Caesar fought. Okay? So y'all gotta understand, man, your Moorish history is vast. Very vast. Very vast. So y'all just look at that in that perspective, and that's all I'm gonna drop on y'all today. Until next time, Moors. Until next time, we're gonna build again. I don't want to be all dragged out and stuff like that. But I just want more to know that you know I support upright Moors. I support faithful Moors. I support Moors that's going to look out for Moors, even they know. Okay, I need to look out for this Moor. You see what I'm saying? Because he's a good Moor. He ain't no dirty Moor. He's a good Moor. So I'm gonna look out for him. See what I'm saying? That's how we need to get back with each other. We need to get back with each other. Those Moors that know they good Moors start messing with the good Moors, and the good Moors start messing with them, because we basically know who's doing what and what doing who and who doing that. It's not in how can I say, whatever y'all Moors are doing out here, don't act like that we don't have a reach to you. You out here doing some shady stuff. Don't act like we don't have a reach to you. It's some more that know what you're doing, and it's gonna get back. Okay, all this clandestine, all this dirty practices that y'all are trying to do. See what I'm saying? All this COINTEL provocateur stuff that y'all trying to do within our movements. It's not gonna work, because Allah already decreed our prophet, and He already decreed His prophecies. Okay, so you Moors gotta understand, what I mean, that we in this to win. We're not in this to lose. We're not in this to lose. We in this to win, and that's just it. And if you're not doing anything to liberate yourself, as far as a Moor, which is so-called black people, that these people took away your nationality, you the only damn people on this earth who don't have a nationality. You go by a black man or African American, 2 fucking continents. Are you sick? Come on. Are you people sick? So you got to understand, these people are playing games with you. They're playing games. And all these pseudo so-called black people that's running around here trying to confuse our people and keep on confusing our people. I want to know how much money y'all making off y'all confusing the people. I want to know. Y'all got to be making a whole lot of money for y'all actions and y'all roles of duping the people. Y'all got to be. Y'all got to be making a lot of money. Because if you're not making a lot of money, you know what I mean? Use a poor excuse of a Moor, and on top of that, you need to go learn something. Now, the ones that's making the money, yeah, I know you're dirty. Oh yeah, I understand why you're doing it, because you're doing it for money, but I still chop your neck off, because you're not supposed to do it for money. You're already rich, you dummies. Don't you understand? Don't you understand what it is? But actually, some of you guys don't understand what it is, because in actuality, you will already understand that you're supposed to stand on your square and look out for your fellow Moors. See, and do this research and uplift all the humanity. Okay, but it seems like, you know what I mean, people don't want to do that. They wanna go against the grain. You know what I mean? But these people been going against the grain against y'all for over 200 some years. So what's the what's the meaning, Morris? Come on. Please tell me. Please tell me. What's the meaning? So I just wanna put that into perspective, and I'm about to get up out of here, Morris. All right. So I want to say Islam,
Bluetooth mode.
and peace, love, and light, Morris.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay. Islam.
Nobody still talks about that. Many of them still in this movement. You understand what I'm saying? To kill the civic side of this movement, so people can think it's just another black religious Islamic sect. You get it? That was their mission, to establish that fake reality, not reality, but that fake appearance of reality, that semblance, that color to the people, which is the color that most people have of the Moorish movement now, and anyone says that's not true is a liar, because that's the concept that people have this movement. Until we came out and started reaching out to them while everybody else was being silent, condemning us for doing it too. And we put literature out there to change their concepts, so they can have something to reference to. You understand? Just like the prophet said do. Exactly what the prophet said do. People mad at us, still mad at us for it. I don't care. Because I'm not in it for them. I got babies. And they got babies. And they got babies in the babies that's in the womb. And I ain't having it. And I'm a soldier. I came as a defender for no reason. That's why I do what I do. I'm telling you bluntly. And I ain't for you.
Mufti force of the conscious game, superstars won't spend all those G's just a supercar. I'd rather put the funds to Mufti force guns, Dr. Sebi remedy in truck skids and tons. Sign and bonus, gift to Gabriel or Eagle, or UMIA, let me Negro. I'm not the face watcher or friend beggar. I'm not the type to take back tell you like pants and John Rockefeller. Walk down a fly rapper and propellers. Air space in these bars are no flow zones. I heard R&B singers are homo drones. I heard that from a gay rapper dressing so fun. G's can't pass butt cheeks, dressing so snug like a snuggle bear, showing me your underwear. Rapper Inquisition make rappers run from fear of being shown up. You already thrown up. Punchlines and hooks leave their face roll up. Or like the giants, if you don't pay what's owed up. Rapper Inquisition, horror flip, the lips sewn up. Can't go one-on-one for IHF zone up. Using the fiat and deals, pumping the clones up. Making more rap clones like iRobot. Short circuit the whole industry of rap robots. That butts boinking, working with the ones oinking. Hip-hop's hurting IHF, the vocal ointment. Flow like a break, waves and b-boy girl dancers. Spit like pain of old graphers. Feel for the true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MC OGs with content that you're used to. Feeling for true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MC OGs with content used to.
The one make we life hard like pavement. Me no afraid to make my statement. Babylon go on with the mental and physical enslavement. Think right now if we are live like cavemen. How much go the dark, how much now go make it the right, just replace them. The more side erase them. Discrimination, play again with nation. Unity we weak with separation. Jail houses meant to deplete elevation. Wisdom visit on the deep meditation. All you want to see on the sleep medication. Herbs are the healing of the nation. Tell them police, we not stop chase man, especially since we know no phone, no place that's flirt or the truth. Me know say you can't take that. See them chat, yeah, this rasta. Nah, take back, you don't know. Couldn't grasp half of the shit that we've been through. These clip ass niggas making comments on YouTube. TorontoRappers.com talking about you too. Generation switch, shouldn't have to show you. Bro, bitch, don't worry about the old school. Haven't seen a man you used to see before. Cause certain men don't want the face see no more. Get off our dicks, your pussies is whores. Tendencies of a bitch, you should learn to be a more. And while you're hating, we'll keep repping T.O. and celebrating, cause enough soldiers soon home. We penetrating, got the locks and the codes. So do your own time, bro. We alright. Everybody on their own ground. We still tight. Miscommunication, which brothers don't fight. You need an occupation, or I forgot you tight. Shit about other men, cause you covered their life. But your business you should mind though, cause we work nights. And you ain't hard to find once darkness comes to light. And I don't care, you can take my flesh life here. I manifest, and I come back in your nightmares. And I kill you there, I've been traveling for light years. I can't die, but they won't see you horny or you won't wake up. Need to call the coroner, another wake up. Your boys will be corona, cause they slept. Reminiscing while the morning saying what the. Just yesterday we was vlogging with each other. Shouldn't I, with just another brother. And the rest of the camp, 2 decades. stay straight. We've been making our stamp, yay. I know you say you don't even know me. I make it clear
I'm the number one OG.
year to year, made stacks off the Mosies from the block to the bars. I'm known we between the rats and stars. I play it low key, looking down as far at the top, it's getting lonely.
Of course, there are ages that exist, whether or not it's informed by my lips, labeled angelic or devilish, based in the view the beholder gets. To the older we get, our perspectives and action change, regardless lines drawn between those that intend to hinder gain. Similar, not the same. So which of the seat that left to complain? The reference frame change while still thinking life is a game. While we train, this battlefield, knowing when comic kicks is real. My mental plus my tempo must be ready to switch from hurt to heal. It's true to reveal similarities since they be following orders accordingly from destiny. So mercy's unnecessary. Murder honorably most enemy. And as long as common exists, an opposition has to be.
Come test me now. Come test me now. Yeah. Come test. I'm flagging your career. Make a rock rap. Out there. This one's for y'all, Simon, I'm flattening your career. Make a whack rapper disappear. Grab you by your shirt back and kick your ass out of here. Let's run for cover, cause I'm back to wreak havoc. Remember me? To kill them all and make them die tragic. Turn the opposition, cock it back and let them have it. Let them vanish like I'm a magician and raps with magic. And like poof, you're gone. With the proof I'm on. To all you non-substance rappers, if you want, respond. Give y'all a second, but I recognize you're repping. Some metrosexual shit, that's not the way that I'm stepping. I study last year's test and skim the cheat sheets. So test me out, kill commercial rap like dead meat. If you don't know, I'm Simon Phoenix and a deadbeat. Commercial rap on front page, I can't be discreet. Lyrically dumpy, leaving bodies in tall heaps. No mortal can walk like I do, now bow and kiss my feet. Call me sire, throw out your skinny jeans and retire. Back you up against the wall with hail or gunfire. Sharp talent, shred your skins and shatter your bones. Stay out of the kitchen, better yet, drop the microphone. Steadily prepping better recipes. I rap till the end, but rap won't be the death to me. At a shower party when I catch ya, I'll wet you and blow you up the crime scene. All that's left is your stretcher. So test me now, make your fans convert. Have them wearing fatigues and burning tight pink ass shirts. Have them dashing out the flashy clothes like I'm not Tron. Milling your pipe bombs, labeled the wannabe rap icon. Check me later, I'm gone. Thought I died, but I respond. My words are bondable, but when I speak, don't respond. I drown shallow-minded MCs in a shallow pond. Mobilize a million men to march like I'm Farrakhan. But I'm more like Malcolm and my brother is some Falcon. Chasing crazy ball heads out of our town after I scalp them. Bit up more than you can chew, motherfuckers. Come test me now. So test me now. So test me now.
Still IHF, still ill, hot and fed. The type to leave a body guy leaking from his head. Dirty like the naps. The enemies still want me dead, but mentally I cause their bodies to combust spontaneously. I be that ghetto dentist, removing chest cavities. My psychopathic surgery, my incision won't be circular, more like linear. My narrows not horizon, can you still hear me clear? No more text messages, only mental mind blast to my comrades. Traders never overstand the task. Rather floss in some tight pants of money in the head. Big chains and rims spinning. My stone hands will leave your face smashed and ears ringing. Armageddon soon beginning, so there's no time for sinning. When I finally kill the devil, I'ma hear this angel singing. That's a beautiful song.
Islam Moors. Peace.